Welcome back to the B team. And yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of puzzle pieces here. Video dropping soon.
Yep.
It's hell.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hell. And we're maybe like 25, 30% done with the puzzle.
Yeah.
Is that a little low?
Low?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be high.
No, I think 25. I think 30 is probably the ceiling. I think 25 is right where we're at.
All right. I mean, I'm down. While
But
we're on the
cooking,
topic.
though. We were cooking.
Yeah.
We were. I think the second day we were really getting the groove going.
Day 2, we found our groove. We're going to move into day 3. It'll be moving day. Golf lingo. So while we're on the topic, remember to follow. We always do this at the end of the show, and it's just like pointless. I feel like remember to follow us and subscribe to the YouTube.
Absolutely, we need that.
That's big.
Yeah, follow. We're on pretty much every single platform.
Yep.
It helps us out. It helps us big time. We're putting out this content. We want to do it for y'all, also for us. But there are some people that obviously have followed and subscribed, but we definitely could use more.
You guys got to understand, like, we sat here for hours on it. We sat here for like 4.5 hours one day doing a goddamn puzzle that all the pieces look the same. If it's a green piece, it looks the same as that green piece. If it's a black piece, it looks the same as that black piece. And it's a goddamn panda.
It's green, black, and white. That's it. That's
the whole
puzzle.
It's a green piece, a black piece, or a white piece. We thought doing the all-white puzzle was hard. This puzzle might be worse. The all-white one, at least, going into it, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
This one, I thought for sure we'd be done by day 2, and it was demoralizing.
Yeah. I mean, it still is.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was a good selection. We were stuck between 3. And the Sugar Rush one, I thought probably would have been the best idea now as we're doing this.
We would have been done.
But yeah, this is
chaos.
This is chaos indeed. I agree. But yeah, all in all, follow us, like our stuff. Mm-hmm. We put a lot of work into this, and we do it for you guys. Help us out. We could definitely use it, and we're not going to stop. So we'll definitely have to mention that more for sure. But
and some daily news that will take us into the breaking news that I saw before we started.
Let's get after it.
Happy birthday to Justin Fields. Chicago Bears wished him a happy birthday today. Saw that right before we started. Good for him. Happy birthday. Probably doesn't have a football team at the moment, even though he's on the Bears, which brings me to my breaking news, that there are reports coming out of the ATL area that Kirk Cousins and his family have been looking for homes in the area, which basically means he's expecting to sign with Atlanta. Now, the rumor for the last week, I would say, has looked like Justin Fields to the Vikings based on their interests.
Justin Fields to the Vikings?
Yes. Based on their interests, there's been heavy interest the last couple of days on bringing him in and letting Kirk Cousins go to Atlanta. Now, I don't know how solid all this is. I mean, it's NFL. Nothing's solid. I know that as well as anyone being a Cowboys fan. Jerry could tell you something. He really doesn't mean it at all. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But, yeah, thoughts on that? Thoughts on those two destinations?
Here's what I'll say. I think if we're talking terms for Atlanta and what they need, I think both are good fits. It's just I feel like Kirk is a better fit. And I feel like I didn't really hear about Kirk really going anywhere to Atlanta until recently. It wasn't like as big as Justin Fields, where he had a potential landing spot in Pittsburgh and then also in Atlanta. It's just such an interesting offense because they're obviously, we know this, they're a run-heavy team. And they also have the 8th pick, which throws this whole scenario in a loophole because they can either take the route where they go for a rookie quarterback. Is that the smartest decision? I don't think so, because I think that they are competitive enough to win that division. I think their defense is another, I think Jesse Bates was probably one of the better signings in the offseason last year. So maybe bringing a veteran guy in like Kirk could help them out, because we all know that what they need to do is just give Bijan Robinson the ball. He didn't get the ball as much as anyone expected him to, and I think that will 100% change this year. I'm very high on him, especially coming into his sophomore season. But I don't think Kirk is a bad option at all. I think it's better than Fields. It's just how long are you going to hold on to him for if he actually does go to Atlanta?
Well, this could be a situation similar to the Aaron Rodgers, what the Jets should have done with Aaron Rodgers, where, yeah, they bring in Kirk Cousins this year, knowing he's going to be there 3-4 years. And maybe next year you look at bringing in a young quarterback to be behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that team, do they need a running quarterback in that offense? No. I mean, you got weapons there. You have guys that Arthur Smith, for whatever reason, decided not to use properly. And put Kirk Cousins in there, someone who can facilitate the ball, do his job well. He's proven that year after year, no matter where he was. I think that they have a chance to contend for that division and possibly get a win or two in the playoffs.
They were contending last year. That was the only division that was really the division. I think that was the only one that was really like up for grabs. We even said it beforehand. I mean, the AFC North was between the Bengals and the Ravens. Bengals go down. Now it's pretty much the Ravens. The AFC East was just Bills, Dolphins. Like, it was the Bucks, the Saints, and the Falcons were all in that mix. But
did you see what Antonio Brown posted about the Steelers and Kenny Pickett?
No.
Bro, this man posted a video of Nicki Minaj basically bending over, shaking her ass, and posted, how ass was Kenny Pickett? That dude's on a rampage.
He's just an entertainer now.
I love him, bro.
That's his platform, man, and people love it. That's why he gets so many likes and views on his tweets. But it's hilarious. I wish Chandler Jones was on that same path, just tweeting like that.
So today, do you know Zay, or what's his name from Barstool Sports, the midget from Zimbabwe?
Yes, I don't know his
Zay,
name, but
I think, yeah, something like that. So obviously, you got Patrick Beverly working there right now, and he's been tweeting out a bunch of stuff saying that it's just a bunch of crackers at Barstool Sports. And today he goes, I just found out that I was wrong. Barstool has 1.5 black employees.
And it's just the little midget guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dead. So he works there now?
Who?
Pat Beverly?
He's on the podcast. He's on the Pat Beverly show with Roan.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really called the Pat Bev Podcast with Roan. I think that's the title they came up with.
Who else is working for them as an ex or current athlete?
Will Compton.
What's
his name?
Taylor Wan?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that was separate from Barstool.
No, it used to be. Now it's there.
Now together. Okay.
Obviously, they used to have Pat McAfee. Trying to think anyone else.
Wasn't Dion involved, or was he just like a recurring guest?
I think Dion is involved. Big Poppy was for a little bit.
Bro.
I'm trying to think.
I think Pat Bev is good for that show,
Whit
though.
And Biz. I don't know if anyone else is, though.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, Pat Bev is good for Barstool. I think he kind of fits like what they're doing. It's just his personality.
He's got the attitude.
He does have the attitude.
Yeah.
I agree. But, I mean, I guess my last point on the Falcons here, they were such a one-sided team, and they were missing that position at quarterback dreadfully. I mean, Ritter had his moments. Heineke, we know he's just a backup. Do I think Ritter's the answer? No, I don't. I mean, I think they were using him or utilizing him incorrectly. I think they were trying to make him throw it from the pocket, but he's a runner too. And it doesn't look like he is, but I think he's more of a rollout, try to hit someone on the run, or just run for 7-8 yards. I think having Kirk there will kind of balance out the offense where it's a little bit more unpredictable. And again, they're at pick number 8 overall. You can do anything with that. You can go. I mean, they're not going to draft a tight end. They have Pitts, but they need someone to unlock him. I think that's another thing that it's important to that team is one, handing Bijan the ball at all times, and two, unlocking Kyle Pitts. He has not been the guy that we all thought he was going to be for his whole career now, which has been going on, his third year?
So year 3?
I think it's year 3. But I think they can take the route where they should attack offense, and I think I can't see them not taking a receiver. It's either a receiver or a quarterback.
They're in a prime spot to get a receiver.
Yeah.
Which would be huge.
I think it's a good situation to be in right now because you have a lot of cap space to go out and sign a guy like Kirk or Justin. Well, Justin, you're probably gonna have to trade for, which is I think is why they probably don't want to go that route. So they'd rather just sign Kirk off the free agent market, give him what he wants. But yeah, I mean, you pair him with a guy like Rome or even Malik. I don't think Malik will fall there. I mean, that will drastically help that team, and then they could definitely make a push.
Yeah, and last thing for me here, I feel like the Falcons have been continuing. They had Matt Ryan. The last great quarterback that was there before that was who? Michael Vick. They've been trying to like find guys like Michael Vick, I feel like, and no one is Michael Vick. Like
nobody.
The guys that are like him that are in the league, you know they're going to be like that. You got Lamar. You got those type of guys that you know. And I think it's time to go back to just the middle-aged white guy that can't run, that can sling the ball. I mean, Kirk Cousins is Matt Ryan.
I feel like that's good content right there. I feel like we're seeing, especially now, a lot of these teams even the Jets. The Jets are doing this. Like they have their foundation on either like one side of the ball built pretty nicely, where they're good in each section of their positional groups. Yep. Like okay, for example, with the Jets, like we know that their defense is top. We know that we don't really have to worry about bringing in anybody else, maybe for depth, not for starters, but they're making a push, but also looking for older age guys, older veterans that have playoff experience, have played in the league for so long that they just sign and try to win for that like 1-2 year gap. Bucks and Brady. The Colts did this a bunch. They did this with Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz. You look at the Rams with Stafford. I think we're really seeing this kind of philosophy within the NFL where we have our team. We can afford to now get a quarterback who we can go all in on for maybe max 3 years until he's probably going to retire or become a backup like Joe Flacco. It's kind of interesting to see how this has kind of worked in a way. Like I feel like we weren't really, for me at least, it was finding a quarterback with longevity, and that's going to be your quarterback for 10 plus years. Unfortunately, that's a dream scenario. It's not always going to work out like that. I mean, look at the Bears with Fields. They thought that was going to be the guy, or he was going to be the guy. It's not now. They're just going to reset the clock. But the Falcons are definitely in that position to do exactly what the Bucs did, what the Colts did back with Phillip Rivers, and now with the Jets with Rodgers. So I think they're doing. I think all in all, Kirk would be a better option than Justin.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I want to stay in the division because they aren't the only ones that could possibly get better this offseason. The Bucs just announced this week that Mike Evans is returning on a 2-year, $52 million deal, $35 million guaranteed. So basically, for everyone else, that leaves T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Calvin Ridley, Odell, Michael Thomas. I don't know why the last two are even on the list anymore, but they are. So the big question is, what does this do for Baker Mayfield now? Is he coming back? I think he is.
He has to. I mean, we talked about this last week. They were another team that they have to figure out what they're going to do with Mike Evans and Baker. And it's funny because the first bit of news that dropped was the Bucs and Mike Evans have not agreed to a short/long-term deal. Yeah. We're going to let him hit free agency. I'm like, okay, that's why they were under pressure, but they got it done.
It was all smoke.
They gave him, what was the contract thing? It was 2 years, $52 million, $35 guaranteed.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, that you're paying a big premium there, but you're also getting you're getting production. That's one of the better receivers.
And also you're getting a team legend.
Yeah, dude, he's
going to retire a buck now.
He might be, honestly, one of the more underrated receivers that we've seen. He's hit 1,000 yards every single year of his career. But he's just on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that might be the reason why we're like, also when you commingle him with fantasy football, I think that kind of, because you know how he is. He'll have those games where he has like 3 catches for 10 yards.
I was just about to say, do you want to see him not get a 1,000-yard season? I will make that happen.
Yes.
I will personally put every paycheck on every week for this man to get the over on his yards, and we will see this man get the under. I will guarantee an under year.
Yeah, bro, he's one of those where he's such a good real-life player, and then when it comes to fantasy, he is the biggest boom or bust player in the world. Like, you think boom or bust in fantasy, he's got to be the number one person that comes to your mind is Mike Evans. For me, it was like Mike Evans, Tyler Lockett,
Tony Pollard,
Gabe Davis, Tony Pollard. I hated those guys in fantasy, but he was one of those that would just turn up in playoffs.
Yes.
But he gets 1,000 yards because he has that one game where he just absolutely goes insane for like 183 touchdowns. Like, dude's a dog, man. But I'm happy for him, and I'm glad that the Bucs brought him back. They have to retain Baker. I think that's huge. I mean, just again, what we said last week, the connection that they had, you just can't let that go. I mean, he took you to the playoffs. You guys beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who were supposed to go back to the Super Bowl, and then they took an L to the Lions, which honestly wasn't even that far out of hand.
They had a chance. They could have won that game.
Yeah. And again,
the NFL wanted them to. They could have.
So they pick, for sure. They pick, I think, 26 overall. I can see, I could see a receiver again, because you're gonna have Mike Evans for 2 more years. Godwin, I don't know how much longer you're gonna have. I think his contract is coming up soon.
Yeah, the one thing with Godwin that I want to add before we get past this and we forget about him, he is a slant merchant. And that's someone that you could just keep around for an extra probably 2-3 years, because
I'm with you there.
It's not like he's getting run over. He's a guy that's going to catch the ball for 5, 6, 7, 8 yards and fall over. Yeah, every now and then he still has that burst he can get behind, but dude's a slant merchant. They were literally calling it while I was watching the game. They're like, yeah, he's going to get a slant here, and it's just going to no one's going to be able to stop it. And it just happened over and over and over again.
He's one of those players that you just know is probably going to stay with the Bucs for a long time. I mean, listen, they don't ever have to bring him back if they don't want to, but he's just one of those. He reminds me of Tyler Lockett, just with the team. His production, like his peak was there, and now I think he's definitely hitting decline. So I wouldn't be shocked if they go after a guy like Adonai Mitchell, Keon Coleman, someone else to fill that gap per se. So but now their main focus is bringing back Baker, which if they do that, I think they've won the offseason, period.
I think they win the division next year easy. If
they could win it back. I mean, they're not in a bad situation financially. I'm pretty sure they just released Shaq Barrett. If they could figure out what they're doing with Devin White, I don't know if they're going to trade him, if they're going to keep him. That's another huge player, because if you're losing both of those guys, you're going to have to address a linebacking core in the draft and free agency. So they're making moves. If there's one team, a little off topic here, I don't really know how I feel about the Saints. Saints about them,
they're dead.
Yeah,
they're dead.
I mean, they made that Derek Carr move. They still have Kamara. Michael Thomas is just done. He's trying. I love it and I respect it, but he just can't come back.
So here's one thing that I thought about this week when I did see something about the Saints roster. The Saints and the Chargers are very alike. They're basically spitting images of each other on different sides of the country. And they just continuously have the same type of seasons.
I just think
wide receiver one eventually gets injured. I mean, now they
have
Olave. Yeah, he's kind of stepping into it. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, so he might be gone too. No one knows. But then you got that running back that's solid. You trust him. You got a quarterback that you somewhat trust. Hasn't really proven he can win on the biggest stage yet. Like it's the same teams. Good defenses.
Yeah, I think we know what Derek Carr is now. I mean, he's just an average quarterback. I know, crazy to say, right? We've come a long way.
We need to cut to Mike circa.
No, why do you guys gotta come with me on this?
And I need to have that little clip.
It's always when I'm wrong, it has to be posted everywhere. It's got to be posted. I was wrong.
Every time I was wrong about the Cowboys, we post it.
I've said, okay, but it's the Cowboys. Like, you could be wrong about your Cowboys. That's fine.
I've been wrong about the Eagles, too.
I mean,
I've been wrong about the Jets.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was probably the coldest take. It was Derek Carr and then Lamar. I'm still very high on that Lamar take. We should have done it.
I was wrong about Russ.
We never did it.
You want me to keep listing stuff that I was wrong about?
No, okay, listen.
I'll keep listing them. Guys, go through our whole feed.
Maybe we were wrong on a lot of things. Yeah, but I learned from it. I did learn from it. And was Rodgers the right move? I guess. Sure. Why not? We just got to win now. It's one of those wait and see moments. But yeah, all in all, the Saints are. I don't like their head coach. I don't think
he's trying to be Sean Payton.
Yes, there's something about him that just I don't see leadership.
He wears a visor, right?
No, does he? Might.
Does he wear a visor?
Dennis Allen.
I'm gonna find it.
Dennis Allen is his name.
If this comes up and he's wearing a visor,
Just something about that team, and I just feel like
he's wearing a visor.
He's a visor guy.
He's trying to be Sean Payton.
I just feel like there's no direction. There's no like emphasis on what they're trying to prove as their identity. There's nothing.
There's just a very generic team.
Yes.
Now. There's no identity. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there's no identity to them.
Average quarterback who doesn't bring much to the table.
Yeah.
Kind of average.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like they thought that would be
Mid.
the move to kind of push them maybe into the playoffs, but they all they really have is Olave. I mean, Kamara. They have to focus offense too. We know their defense is fine. Like they have Davenport, they got Brian Bresee, who's probably going to be pretty good. Cam Jordan, Lattimore, Marcus May. Focus offense. I'm telling you, this is probably the one year where there are so many offensive needy teams in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when is the first defensive player going to get chosen this year in the draft?
Pick
What?
number.
Pick 10.
Around pick 10?
Yeah, I think it'll be around pick 10.
So-
Dallas Turner
all right.
might go.
So Lucas, when we were texting, he was like, I think Dallas Turner goes to 8 to the Falcons.
Yeah, I think around there would be the first defensive player, and I think it'll be Dallas Turner.
I can't wait to have Lucas on.
Yeah,
He's just him tell me the exact order of the draft.
Yeah, he just Lucas. We literally have him this platform to just listen to Lucas and just spit facts about the draft.
We need to drive to New Jersey and bet on every single one of his picks.
Yes. I'll all 32. I'll take
Yeah.
them all.
It'd be like horse betting where you do like trifectas, plays, and shit. Like, Lucas, what are your top 3? I'm doing a trifecta right now.
Oh man, that'd be.
I don't want to get
can't
into
wait.
it. I
No,
don't
no,
want to get
no,
into
no,
it
we gotta wait
because
for
I will
Lucas.
start rambling.
We gotta wait for Lucas. So let's move on. Big story here.
Yeah.
Jason Kelce retires.
Okay, I thought the other one, but
Is he down here?
yeah, he's chilling.
Cat?
Big turd on the grass. No, I'm capping.
Serious?
No, I'm kidding. Yo, pick
He's
him
a
up.
big
Pick him up.
Bengals
Pick him
fan.
up.
No.
Come on, show him on
I
camera.
know he doesn't like that.
Hey, dude, do you not hear him?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, because he's hungry.
Stop feeding him. He's big enough.
Yeah, he's fat. He's.
Hi, kitty.
I will say that he's a big Bengals fan.
What do you think about Joe Burrow?
That-
He said he's coming back MVP season.
Yep. But Jason Kelce retires, and I have 2 things to say on it.
Go ahead.
3 things.
I know you're going to say some funny ass
So-
shit, so go ahead.
So listen, first, great career, awesome dude.
Yeah.
Really like his vibes.
Met him.
Round of applause.
Met him.
He's a beast.
Yeah, one of the best to do it.
Point number 2. All that being said, brother, you could have cut out like 3 pages of notes on that retirement speech. There was no need for that thing to be 30 minutes long. I'm sitting there waiting for it to end and to end and to end, and I felt like we were going in a circle. We just kept talking in a circle. And
He
it was
loves
like,
the game.
yeah, I know he does,
He loves his wife.
but like, we all kind of saw this coming. Everyone knew it was coming, and then he just took 30 minutes to get to the point. You know, you could have just hit us with it a little bit quicker. Pull a Antonio Brown, be like, I'm out. You know, but regardless, great player.
Gets the Jets too.
Last thing, I love the fact that he shouted out Nick Foles' big dick. That was fantastic.
Did you watch the whole?
Did he actually
Yeah.
say that?
Yeah, probably
Yes.
he just said that.
Yeah. He literally said when Nick Foles had the biggest dick on the team. Yeah, he said that. Those exact words. Live television.
He sat down and right away, once he like said like 5 words, just
He
started
started crying. Yeah.
bawling his eyes out. I'm telling you, I think he's actually one of these players that's going to return. I think he's going to retire. Next year is going to come back.
No,
I think
because
he might do it.
ready? He said in his speech, he was like, I don't know what's next for me. I don't know what the future holds, but we'll see. I can tell you what the future holds. New Heights is going to be booming. He's going to be doing he's going to be fine. He's going to be on TV. He's going to have his family life. He's set. He has a mansion in Philly he just built.
He just might be so bored, and then having 3 daughters to take care of, he might just lose his goddamn mind. So he might be like, you know what?
I don't see it.
Let me just go to LA and get away from here and just play 1 year under Justin Herbert. Imagine I call this.
He's not an LA guy.
He's not. No. Do you see the man? He's not going to L.A. There's only room for one person that dresses like Adam
Florida.
Sandler in L.A.
Florida. Okay, all in all, I think he might, after 1 year, somebody will reach out for a push where they can win another Super Bowl, and they'll give him a call. I don't think I know he's done, but the fact that he's crying so much, deep down he doesn't want to be done. But he's got to be a father to his kids, a bigger father to his kids.
I don't know. I don't think he comes back. Let's move on here. Broncos release Russ.
We already talked about that, did we not?
We kind of did. Yeah, we're done with that. We don't need to talk about it again.
Wait. Can I say a couple things?
Yeah.
Just some things I wrote down, specifically what the trade package was, if you guys remember. So the Broncos sent 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and defensive lineman Shelby Harris for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick.
Yep. So everyone quiet. Let that sink in. Yeah, we're all thinking the same thing here. There's nothing more to be said. The Broncos might be the worst franchise in all of sports.
The Seahawks absolutely finessed.
Yes.
And they got Geno. And Drew Lock. They beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
So
twice, multiple times.
Yeah. So right now they're guaranteed about 20. Well, Russ is guaranteed $39 million this season. That's what the Broncos have to pay him for this year.
Oh, that's awesome. I wouldn't even play.
Yeah, literally. For the rest of the dead money, yeah, take the year off. For the rest of the dead money, the $85 million, they could decide how they want to pay that within a span of years and whatnot. It's a lot of freaking money to be paying a guy who you just cut.
He just became Bobby Bonilla.
Pretty much, yeah. He is now the Bobby Bonilla of football.
It's pretty awesome.
So
moving on. Just came out today, probably a few hours before the show.
Wait. I'm sorry I have to do this, but where do we go, or where does Russell Wilson go from here? Is my last thing on him. Like, do you see any potential team trading for him, maybe giving him a look?
Well, he's cut now. They're going to cut him. So
Yeah. I mean,
it won't have to be a trade.
Yeah, not trade, but like, what teams do you think would be interested?
I think it'll be Pittsburgh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of leaning towards.
Tomlin's going to want that veteran quarterback who can win to come in. That team was in the playoffs last year with bad quarterbacks who shouldn't have really been there. I think Russ could actually go pretty far with them.
Yeah. And another thing to think about here is Russ is getting all that money for this year no matter what. Like, it's not about the money this year.
No, it's not.
He could sign for like a minimum contract, not league minimum, but he could sign for a very cheap contract and allow a team to kind of build up the roster and just spend their money elsewhere.
And they should be able to reconstruct that contract as well. Like, no team is going to take on that contract that he was given. They'll be able to reconstruct their own with him.
Now, going back to what I was saying, how it's a lot of money he's getting this year. Give me a team that wears green, that needs a backup, that has Aaron Rodgers. This is a great opportunity to run
It's
the Rodgers,
it's not a bad
Russell
opportunity.
Wilson quarterback room.
I mean,
He's already getting a ton of money. It's not like he doesn't have to play this year.
If he wants to be a backup in New York, bring him in.
That's something we have to address for sure.
That would be that. If you guys are not reaching out to him about and just being like, listen, you're getting $39 million this year guaranteed. So listen, we'll make sure you get the 39 guaranteed. You're going to be on league minimum with us. Like, that is a great deal if I'm Russell Wilson, and I don't even have to play. The chance, I mean, I shouldn't say that because
it's a great idea.
Aaron Rodgers has only shown that he can play in New York for like 5 plays.
4 snaps.
4 snaps. So there's a chance he does play. Now, will the Jets put in an injury clause? We don't know. I don't know if that's available in the league minimum package, but I do think this is a great opportunity for the Jets to really go after a Super Bowl.
They have to bring in at least some type of backup. It can be a guy like Ryan Tannehill, someone that if you put in at quarterback, if Rodgers goes down, you'll be like, all right, at least it's not some random dude that we have no idea about. We have to go back to college to look at his stats.
Yeah.
We have someone who's been in the league and can actually throw a football. Or we can go the rookie route where we take someone in the 3rd or the 4th round with a quarterback pick. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't want to get crazy into it because we will when the draft approaches closer. But that's 3 things that they have to do. they have to at least draft a lineman.
Who are we talking about right now?
The Jets.
Oh,
Just three things, and then we're moving on. They have to draft a lineman.
I thought we were talking about the Broncos.
No.
I was lost.
No,
there.
now we're on the Jets. Draft a lineman, find another receiver to pair up with Garrett, and find a backup. That's it. Very simple. But
right.
yes, go
Very
to the
simple.
next news. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to see
good.
where you guys
You're
are
good.
at.
Last thing I want to say there is I don't think Hackett has the mental capacity to do this, but if he could figure out a way to have a Aaron Rodgers offense where it's a pocket passer just lighting teams up with his arm, and then you bring Russell Wilson to run the triple option, that would be unstoppable.
No comment.
But let's move on. Saquon joins a laundry list of running backs that are now free agents. We're going to have Saquon free to go wherever he wants. Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Tony Pollard, and DeAndre Swift are also on the market. But big news out of New York today. Saquon is free. He's able to go wherever he wants. He can come home to the New York Jets, possibly. That won't happen. But also, Daniel Jones is reportedly being told that the Giants are absolutely positively done with him.
It's rebuild time. It's rebuild time. It is. Yeah, I saw that, by the way. It's amazing. It's time to rebuild. It's time to clean house. It's over. And once Saquon was gone, and once they let him walk, which, you know what, shout out to New York for doing, by the way. I'm actually very happy they did that, because they know that they don't stand a single chance to win that division. Why would they waste the prime of this young man they drafted second overall back in 2018, something like that?
Yes.
Give this man a shot to actually be a top running back on a team that can actually contend and win. Houston is one of those teams.
Yes.
The Chargers, if you put him on the Chargers, they could contend too. I think those are probably his two teams. One is Houston. LA is next.
Yeah.
I don't think he really goes to another team. The Cowboys would be my third.
I'm going to throw a little spin zone at you here. I don't think the Cowboys get a single person that's of quality.
They
this
probably
year.
won't.
I saw,
but they should. They should, but they won't.
I saw an interview with this chicken pot pie liking, Southern living, billionaire bum looking, Sith Lord looking, Jerry Jones ass guy saying that all this BS.
Emperor Palpatine does have sex, by the way.
We
does. Talked about
that.
That
was a fact.
He's active.
I watched an interview of him, and after watching it, I'm just at the conclusion that we're gonna suck again. We have El Prescado now, but I don't see anything happening. We have El Prescado, we got CeeDee Lamb, and
hold on a minute.
That's it. What?
Who is your OC?
Serious?
I forget. I'm losing my mind.
It's
not Kellen Moore. No, he's gone.
No, he's
I'm losing my mind. Wow.
Big Mike, bro.
Big Mike. Okay, but who was it before? Dan Quinn is gone now. He's on Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we have Zimmerman.
Or not
Zimmerman.
Yes.
Zimmer.
No. Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer. Okay. Gotcha. Off topic. You see Dak Prescott's new haircut? See his hairdo?
Yeah. Did you hear me? I said El Prescado.
El Prescado.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
No. Jalen Hurts is done. He's dead. Jalen Hurts. You saw him play this year.
Is he trying to copy Jalen Hurts?
No. Time out. Who had the Jordan deal first? Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott.
I don't know.
Dak Prescott.
But who had the goatee
Jalen Hurts
first?
just went and got that. No, but Jalen Hurts has been rocking the goatee since he was in college.
Yeah, and then Dak copying his rival quarterback.
No.
The same facial hair.
No, because Dak actually smiles and cares and talks to his teammates and has fun. Jalen Hurts walks around with a mopey look on his face. Oh, I have to sit behind and put my hands up the best center of all times, but it sucks for me. I have a great wide receiver core with multiple wide receivers. Oh, it sucks for me. Yeah, that's Jalen Hurts. Don't ever compare him to Dak Prescott.
Damn. So now it sounds like you think Dak is a better quarterback just by that statement. You
Absolutely.
Just said. Bam. You clip that shit. Say it right now.
Dak Prescott's better. El Prescado is better.
No, I want to. No. Say it. Dak Prescott is better than Jalen Hurts.
I've said it a million times since the season. Dak Prescott, look at the numbers. I know this game's not all about stats, but all right, then let's look at wins. Let's look at in-division wins since Jalen Hurts entered the league. Who's winning? Dak Prescott. I don't.
The algorithm's gonna fill this.
Case closed.
I can't. Yeah, please clip that.
Back to Saquon.
We're back.
And I want to go back to something here you said about the Giants. You said it's over.
It's done.
I need to ask you something here. What the hell is over?
I mean,
did it ever start?
No,
Can something be over if it never starts?
But I think the regime that they have right now
been a mess for 10 plus. Ever since Eli Manning won that last Super Bowl, this team's been a mess. They've been a mess since they basically ruined Eli's record when they didn't let him start that game. That's when it really started going downhill and the bad juju came in. They had a black cat come out there, started going down. MetLife in general, the Jets have been a better organization and franchise than the Giants have since that Super Bowl.
Which is kind of wild to think. You would never think that.
They have been.
Yeah, I actually agree with you there. I mean,
and think about overall all the mess you guys are.
Yeah, I know. The overall team. But why I said it was over, because they were trying to build this team with, it once started with Saquon, then Danny Dimes, and then they would get guys like Evan Neal, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams. Like, they tried. Like, they were making big moves to bolster this whole team, but it just, that offense is a tough watch, like just as bad as the Jets. And I'm happy that they are not just hanging on to Saquon and just having him here to just contend for a third place spot and him throw up insane numbers.
I don't think they're even going to contend for a third place spot if he was
in the division.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think they even contend for that if he was there.
They made regardless, they made the right move, and I'm very happy for Saquon because now he can finally be on a team that's ready to win and is actually going to utilize him.
Watch him go to Carolina.
How they should. I just hope and pray that it's Houston. I would love to see him in a Texans uniform. I would love it. I think it's one of the better landing spots just because Dameon Pierce was a one-year wonder. Singletary played well, but if you want to really take that next step and have your offense look like dangerous, you get a guy like Saquon Barkley. You're a pass-heavy team. You know he could catch the ball. He can run routes. You have to. I think it's a must because the mocks have them drafting another receiver, which I think is kind of wild. I don't think they should. They don't need to.
No.
Like, you have a guy like Saquon, now you are set.
Yeah.
He is pretty much another receiver for you.
Those mocks, I mean, I understand where they're coming from because you kind of have to go on the belief that Saquon won't go there. If Saquon goes there, I think that changes the mocks a little bit. But I want to add one more thing to what you're saying here about the Texans. If they get Saquon, I think they are instantly a top 3 favorite for next year's Super Bowl.
If I'm looking at the Texans right now, what is holding you back from even just entertaining that idea? They should be looking into it. They should have looked right when that news dropped. I'm like, okay, like, here we go. Let's get in contact with him, see how much and what the range is he's looking for, and we're going to make it happen. Mm-hmm. That's a guy you need. That's a guy who's going to make your team better. You're going to win the division. You will win the division. The Colts are a close second, but you can easily be a favorite. And you beat the Browns in round 1. They had a top 3 defense. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the guy who commented on that post. Appreciate you. You understood what I was talking about. They had a top defense too. Mm-hmm. And you're beating that with Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary. Yep. He gets unlocked after that. And DeMeco Ryans is a head coach. They're not going to, and one more thing here, they're not going to overutilize him like the Giants did. Mm-hmm. It was one of those where the Jets would just throw the ball to Brees 18 times a game. The Giants would do the same with Saquon. That was him. When Tommy DeVito was in, he had that one game against the Commanders. He was throwing touchdowns to Darius Slayton and whoever else was on the outside.
Victor Cruz.
Yeah, Victor Cruz. Like, Saquon, like, you're going to target Tank. You're going to target Nico. You're going to target Dalton Schultz or Brevin Jordan. It's a dangerous team if they get him, and I hope they do. That's all I got to say.
All right, so last thing here. I did a fantasy baseball draft yesterday. I joined a random league that was drafting immediately just because I wanted to see how it worked out. So I'm going to read my team off to Mike. I'll try and read it in the order I drafted as best I can, and he's just going to tell me if my team has a shot.
Did you have any strategy at all? Did you just see good players and pick them?
Dude, I pulled up the list of like how you could put people on queue, like the list of everybody, and I'm not kidding. I recognized maybe 30 names max.
Okay.
That's how into baseball I am right now.
But I don't know how the score. Like again, it's been.
I don't know.
years
I don't
since
know
I've
either.
done it.
I don't know either.
Right,
So
fine.
I just want you to tell me if this baseball team could win.
All right. Well, what pick did you? Number one.
I
round one.
had pick number 7.
All right. So you probably got a guy like Julio Rodriguez or Mookie Betts. Go ahead. I'll let you read it off.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find this draft thing for you.
Who was the number one?
All right, no,
Was it
screw this.
Shohei or Acuna?
I took Aaron Judge
Aaron Judge?
because
Okay,
those guys
yeah.
were gone.
I mean, was he the top of the list once pick 7 came around? No. Who was before?
It was Ohtani.
Honestly, you know what? No, that's not even bad because he's not even pitching. He's not pitching.
It had outfield and pitcher, and I was like, bro, this guy, he's not pitching.
Listen, you got Judge
or
there.
DH. Yeah, so here's Aaron Judge is my first pick. Now this one's gonna be funny. So I was queuing up guys, and I didn't realize my turn was coming around, so I kind of accidentally picked Nick Castellanos second.
Oh man, oh man, that's not good.
But here, let me get to the team.
Massive reach.
Well, I didn't mean to reach.
Yeah.
Here's my infield. I have Gabriel Moreno as my catcher. Cody Bellinger. I think he's going to be fantastic this year back in Chicago.
Definitely just got paid. Me too.
Yeah. Gleyber Torres, Alex Bregman, Jeremy Pena. That's my infield.
I mean,
that's a good infield.
Bregman Pena, I think, is such an underrated piece, and he's young too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a contact hitter. Contact hitter, great on defense. Obviously, no defensive stats are going to be included.
No, Jeremy Pena. I looked up his name and watched one video, and I just really liked his attitude.
Absolute beast. Bregman, you're just going to look for homers and doubles.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those guys who goes maybe 1 for 4 in a couple games, and then 3 for 4 in other games. So you'll have a couple 0 for 4s, 4 strikeouts, but that's baseball.
Gleyber Torres, I kind of just took out of necessity because I didn't have a second. I forgot to get a second baseman. I didn't realize you had to get positions. Like specific, I thought it was just you had to get a bunch of batters and a bunch of pitchers. I didn't realize you had to have
specific
actual
positions.
So by the time I realized that, he was the best second baseman available still.
How long did you wait? When was that?
That was probably
round 10.
Late.
Oh,
late.
Man.
Yeah. Bad place.
So Judge, and then you said Gabriel Moreno
as my catcher.
As your catcher,
Arizona.
Yeah, I mean he has potential. He's more of a defensive catcher, but
he was another one that I took around the Gleyber time. Yeah. I didn't realize I needed.
Listen, your team's pretty good on defense right now. I'll say that.
I don't know if you get points for that.
You don't. I don't think you do at all.
But my outfield, I'm just gonna get ahead of it here.
Belly.
My outfield has character and attitude.
Who's your center fielder?
So it doesn't have that. It's just outfield. So I have Aaron Judge, Nick. And Mike Trout.
Castellanos. And Mike Trout.
Yep. And now my utility player, you get a utility player in this. It's like a flex position.
Yeah.
I like this guy's attitude in Philly. Alec Bohm.
Alec Bohm?
Bohm? That's his name?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
No, I mean, they're not. I think your team is.
Oh, and I took Jazz Chisholm Jr. as a bench player.
That should be a starter, if anything.
Oh, really?
He should be your utility player,
or
he should be. Listen, no offense to the Phillies, but I know that Castellanos and Bohm are good. You're probably gonna have to swap between Jazz and Nick, Jazz and Bohm, Bohm and Castellanos. Like those 3, you're gonna have to swap like here. And there. Like Jazz is a starter, and he's probably one of their better players on the team. He didn't have that good of a year last year. He kind of a down year. He was on the cover of MLB The Show. Got to give him a little bit of slack there, but
that's why I took him.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys who can play a lot of positions.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can even
You're
throw him
telling
in
me
the infield.
he should be a starter?
I think he could be a starter.
He can only be in the outfield.
Yeah, I think he should be a starter. I mean,
he was my last pick,
which is kind of wild to me. I don't know why. He's a good player.
I don't know.
He was on the cover of the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just the Marlins too, but dude, the Marlins are good. If you got like Luis Arias or someone like that, man, that would have been a huge pickup. But not a bad team.
You want to hear my pitchers?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I took Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He fell to me in like the 3rd round.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah, that's an easy pick.
Logan Gilbert.
That's a good
Josh
pick.
Hader. He's a relief pitcher. I didn't know that you needed relief pitchers, so I took him late.
He just got signed. Where did he just go to?
Houston,
yeah.
So he's going to be used a lot. I hope.
He's going to be like your setup guy. Setup guy / closer. I don't even know who their closer is, but
All right.
he's going to go for like
as long as
an
he
inning or
pitches
two.
every week. And then I took Barrios only because I found out that they win frequently when he pitches, so I was betting on them a lot last year. So I took Barrios.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And then Tanner Bibby, I just know the name.
Cleveland?
He's good, right?
I think he's from Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cole Raggins, I don't know. He's on Kansas City. He's a relief and a starter, so I figured maybe I could get a little movement there. I don't know. I don't know who it is. And then I got Shane Bieber because of Justin Bieber. Is he good?
Yes, he's a good pitcher.
All right.
He's probably their number 2 guy, I believe. I don't know how Tristan McKenzie is, but it's one of those two that are.
I got Nathan Eovaldi too.
He's old, but he can still produce, and he's on Texas. He had a great year last year.
I have a question here. I could get our buddy. How is Cabrian Hayes?
Yeah, you have to keep him. I listen. I love.
All right, then I just don't have room for our buddy.
Yeah, listen, but you star him on the waiver wire list, and if someone gets hurt, you pick him up immediately.
Okay.
Cabrian Hayes is our third baseman. He's kind of in the shadow of O'Neal Cruz, but still a really good player, and he's got a good swing. He's got power too, and he's got speed. That's someone. Honestly, your team's not bad. I would just say it's a little bit injury ridden between Mike Trout, Glaber, Belly. Belly's had a history of injuries too.
Perfect.
So if they can stay healthy, especially Trout. Trout is a big. Is he starting for you? He's a starter.
Yeah. You only get like 2 bench players.
If he is a starter for you and stays healthy, yeah, that's literally their only player.
So what you're telling me is that my team is good enough to win,
whatever his name is,
but injury prone enough that I could come in last.
Yes.
Perfect. That's where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. But you're gonna have a lot of decisions to make, especially with Jazz on the bench. So I don't know how it works if you set your lineup like for the week. I think it's
weekly.
Okay, but I don't think you can change during the week. So you have to set it. You have to Okay, gotcha.
I think it's every Sunday.
I think you have to start Jazz, and I would probably take out Bohm. Because I think you could play him at third. Well, he's your utility player.
Who?
Alec Bohm.
Yeah, he can play first.
Yeah, no,
and third.
put in Jazz. Put in Jazz right away. See how he does.
All right.
Because that will get a sense. I mean, it's going to be very inconsistent, but that will get a sense of how he's going to do. He's a stud, man. Huh. And he'll steal bases. He's fast. Great swing in a team-friendly park in Miami, especially as a lefty. Mm-hmm. So,
all right.
You're not bad.
Look
it's
what
not
the
bad.
Kid did. Look what the kid did. Had no idea who he was drafting.
Glaber at
second.
Glaber at second. Yeah, that was bad. But you know what? It was not your fault. Glaber at second. No. I mean, I don't really know how that's going to go. That could be really good or really fucking bad.
Well, it's for what
you're making me want to draft.
From what you just told me, it sounds like for my whole team, it could be very good or very bad.
Should we do an episode where I draft a team?
Yeah,
and then we will give up updates for the whole year because I haven't played fantasy baseball in a minute.
Yeah, we'll give updates on both our teams.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Very
well,
nice.
Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so in regards to football. No, that's it, man.
All right, I'm good.
Another good show. Guys, again, like, follow, subscribe. We post it all over Instagram. You see us. You comment. I love it. Share it to your friends. We post good stuff. And draft's coming around. We'll get more into that. But in the meantime, let's enjoy the week. And we will see you guys next week.
Peace.